Welcome to the Buck Brief. Joe Biden calls us all garbage and then says he didn't, or has people that are telling us that he didn't say what he said. But here's the problem. We know what he said.
And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of things is unconscionable, and it's un-American. It's totally contrary to everything we've done, everything we've been.
He said that we are garbage. That's the only garbage that he sees. And now they're playing this game of there's an apostrophe. He meant the garbage of the Trump voters. I mean, guys, come on. You know what I mean? At some point, we've got to just say enough is enough. And I think we're long past that when it comes to this campaign of just delusion, right? Campaigns are always going to have some falsehoods in politics. I know that. There's going to be exaggeration. There's going to be misdirection. I mean, that is the nature of politics, no matter who you're up against. But this Kamala campaign is rooted in lies. The Kamala campaign is built on not just untruth, but anti-truth about who she is, about what she stands for. And the sitting president, who we all are supposed to forget, is the sitting president because he has dementia and is not up for this. And they foisted him on the American people, and Kamala propped him up and lied about it. And this is just madness. Madness. And yet it's a close election. I'm very confident that Donald Trump is going to pull this off, and that a lot of Republicans are going to have a very good night on Tuesday along with him. But it is going to be close. And they, unfortunately, the forces of evil, also known as the left, the communists, the Democrat Party, they have gotten completely, they've gone completely hysterical over the Nazism stuff. So they're saying that Donald Trump is in some way a Nazi, which is saying that he's the worst person in history. I mean, if you ask most people, who's the worst person in all history? I think Hitler's the first name that comes to mind. The most evil, vicious, murderous, destructive, hateful. I think it's Hitler. They say Donald Trump is like that? The guy's a billionaire playboy who was great president for 4 years. He's got a loving family. He's fun to hang out with. He likes to play golf. He's Hitler? People who say this do not deserve to be taken seriously on anything. Anything. And unfortunately for the Democrats, this is the central theme of the closing days of the Kamala campaign. This is what they are left with. Trump is Hitler, vote Kamala. Not Kamala's good at anything. Not Kamala is going to do the following actual things. She always says, I'm going to raise wages. I'm going to bring down costs. How? How is the thing that is entirely missing from the Kamala campaign? Because if they said how they were going to do it, then we could judge whether, one, it would work, and two, is she really going to do that? Is she going to cut taxes or raise taxes? Well, she's going to raise taxes. She's going to spend more money or try to bring in spending? She's going to spend more money. She's going to more regulate your life and use the government, as to borrow from Matt Taibbi, the face-sucking squid of the federal government, to just take more from the American people? Yeah, that's the plan, okay? That is the Leviathan. It's going to be on our faces, just taking all of our money and our freedom and everything. And this is what's going to happen. But they won't be honest about it. The whole thing is a lie. And Joe Biden, yeah, of course he says that we're trash. I think being called a Nazi is worse than being called trash. Can we at least agree on that, too? Now they're all saying, oh, no, we didn't say that. Karine Jean-Pierre is coming out pretending like Joe Biden didn't say what he said. We could all hear him. We played the clip. It's very clear what he said. And it doesn't ring untrue in any way. That's how he feels. In fact, if he didn't feel that way, wouldn't it be bizarre? If you really believe that somebody was Hitler, wouldn't you think less of people that were supporting Hitler? Or if you thought somebody was a fascist, maybe he's Mussolini and not Hitler. If you thought somebody was truly a fascist, an authoritarian ultra-nationalist who did not believe in freedom and wanted to use the collective to create a dystopia of absolutism, that's a damn good off-the-cuff fascism definition I think I just threw out there. Anyway, wouldn't you dislike the people that voted for that? If there was an open American Communist Party that actually got any votes, I know there is one, but it's not taken seriously because the Democrats have taken in. They have subsumed, is that the word, the Democrat Party? Or they have consumed, I mean, they've brought it into their own ranks. They brought the communists in. But if there was an openly communist party in this country, I would say the people voting for it are morons. And they are voting for the destruction of the country. And I wouldn't feel weird about that. It's true. They would be political idiots. Maybe they can do other things well. Maybe they're nice people in day-to-day, but politically they're morons. If you think that Donald Trump is a fascist, you must think that his supporters are fascists. So own it. Own it. Oh, but you see, here's the problem. That goes against what Kamala said in her speech last night. Oh, this speech, we're supposed to love people. Oh, we want to bring everyone together. No, she doesn't. She despises you. You're voting for Trump, she despises you. You know it. I know it. We'll get back into Kamala's speech here in a second. The biggest lie that I think Kamala has told all campaign. The biggest lie. I'm going to get to it. I love learning about finance, and I'm constantly trying to educate myself. You know, I recently saw a Wall Street legend with a fascinating warning. November 8th, he says, will be the biggest rapid-fire money-making opportunity of his 50-year career. In short, a disconnect in the stock market has opened a way to spot potential buying sprees on 5,000 different stocks before they occur, and it could double your portfolio. Look, I wouldn't doubt this guy offhand. He recommended an AI stock 10 years ago, which would have made you 32,000% if you'd bought and held. He famously invented an indicator back in the 80s that helps direct billions of dollars on Wall Street every day. Now he's sharing a completely new way of handling your money. Go to stocks2025.com for details on how his strange new discovery could double your portfolio over the next year. He's agreed to share it with all of my listeners, but you must get positioned by November 8th, he says. Stocks2025.com. That's stocks2025.com. Now, my friends, Kamala has told a lot of lies. The biggest one, though, is that she is going to deport people who come into this country illegally. That is completely and utterly insane. Insane. She's not going to be turning people away. She's not. This is what she said at her speech.
And when I am president, we will quickly remove those who arrive here unlawfully, prosecute the cartels, and give Border Patrol the support they so desperately need.
I'm gonna quickly remove people who come into this country illegally. No, she's not. She wants more people to come into the country illegally. And this is the part of the Kamala campaign that I find so bothersome. Well, there's a lot of it, but she is lying about everything. Everything. It's all mood, vibes, emotion. Oh, I want to help the middle class because I am middle class, and I'm going to raise wages, and I'm going to do good things. There'll be so much good stuff that Kamala does of goodness that the good will be unburdened by the previous good and be a future of good that she will do by doing it. It's just all this circular babble. There's no there. There's nothing to speak of other than just, yes, I will make the people happy and give them more stuff, and they will be in a place of more happiness because I will do the things. This is what her campaign is. You say, well, what does that even mean? The only thing she's very clear on is abortion all 9 months of a pregnancy. And that is true. Abortion all 9 months of a pregnancy, Kamala's all in on that. But beyond that, really? Well, what's the other stuff? What are the other things that she wants? She doesn't want to take your guns away. She supported mandatory buyback. And these are the games they play. Oh, she didn't support confiscation. If you tell me that I have to give you back my property that I lawfully own or else I'm going to prison, that is confiscation. The fact that you pay me to soften the blow as you confiscate does not make it not confiscation. But everything about Kamala is a lie. The whole thing is absurd. The Democrats could have put forward somebody who was a competent Democrat centrist who can actually accomplish some things. I mean, these people do exist. I mean, someone comes to mind like a Michael Bloomberg, horrible on guns. He's bad on a bunch of issues. But the guy's very smart, obviously self-made billionaire 100 times over. And he's a very smart guy. And he administered the city of New York pretty well. And he's not a lunatic. Ideologically, he's off, but he still lives in reality, even though his ideology is often off base. I mean, he's just one who comes to mind. There are other Democrats. Kamala Harris is a left-wing partisan, a left-wing radical. Her whole time in Congress, what she did in California, and the fact that she comes from a prosecutor's office, she is basically, I'm not sure if she ever got Soros money, but she's a Soros-backed or Soros-style prosecutor in California. And the fact that she is now pretending to be something else should be a huge alarm for everybody out there who wants the country to be on better footing. I mean, you've seen the way that she speaks in different interviews and stuff. She won't go do Joe Rogan. It's all meant to hide. Democrats have to hide who they are and then fool people into voting for them, and then it's too late. I think there's something deeply wrong with that. I think that's truly bothersome, and it bothers me. They're going after Bezos now. The communists, the inmates are running the asylum over the Washington Post, even though Bezos owns the asylum. I'll tell you what I mean in a second. Look, in today's world where, unfortunately, left-wing lunacy reigns in the cities and even in a lot of the suburbs, violent crimes are taking place every 26 seconds. You need to be able to defend yourself. The Sabre Pepper projectile launcher is the only .68 caliber launcher with a 7 projectile capacity, offering up to 40% more shots than other brands for superior home defense, with stopping power up to 175 feet. Having more projectiles is crucial to protecting your family. For nearly 50 years, Sabre has been dedicated to making the world safer. Trusted by law enforcement and millions of families, Sabre provides powerful, non-lethal protection both at home and on the go. For extra peace of mind, Sabre's pepper sprays are ideal for on-the-go safety, and Sabre's door bars block up to 650 pounds of force to keep intruders out. SaberRadio.com is where you should go. SaberRadio.com, or call 844-824-SAFE. That's SaberRadio.com, or call 844-824-SAFE. Now, they have multiple hit pieces against Bezos. Well, one's Bezos/Musk going on right now. It is amazing. As you know, what is the Bezos crime? What did he do? What is the wrong thing that he did? It is that he didn't allow the Washington Post to endorse in this election cycle. That is the thing. That is the unforgivable sin from Bezos. And so now they are attacking him in the New York Times. Jeff Bezos, this is the headline. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and the billions of ways to influence an election. Oh, the billionaires aren't all on your side this time, Democrats. Oh, so sad. Then there's also the Washington Post, which Bezos owns, which is also taking a shot at him, as well as Elon Musk. They're going after Elon. They're going after Bezos. You can't make this stuff up. It is amazing. Here's the Washington Post headline, by the way. It is, a story. I'm trying to read the headline. Here it goes. Four-reporter Washington Post story on our owner, Jeff Bezos, who with other companies have worked to build relationships with Trump and compete for billions in government contracts. With Jeff, it's always only about business, a former employee said. Oh, you mean he's a capitalist and he doesn't just want to play all your little DEI sad person games? Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing. There's such a bunch of babies. Honestly, these partisan Democrats, such a bunch of babies. And they're not they have no emotional control. They don't care. They just want their way. They want to pout and scream, and their arguments suck and their ideas are trash. So they just get into hysterics. Men and women get into hysterics all the time. But it's remarkable that the Washington Post is attacking the owner of the Washington Post. He pays all of their salaries. The Washington Post loses $100 million a year right now. I think that's the estimate, about $100 million a year. So it's really a charity run by Jeff Bezos, and the inmates in that asylum, by Bezos's charity, are able to pay their bills. And now they're going after him. And this just goes to show you that for the true leftists, there's no loyalty, there's no decency, there's no appreciation. There's just the cause and the revolution, and their role in it, and their belief in it, and everything else. Just like in any communist country, all throughout history, everything else can be put aside, can be destroyed, as long as it goes toward the revolution, as long as it goes toward that overriding idea of the greatness that will come when we get everything that we want. It really is Luciferian, but that's a conversation for another time. You know, next week, Americans, in just a few days, are going to be voting in a very consequential election. But no matter who wins, we've seen that the enemies of Israel continue to attack and are circling. And the war has been raging in the Holy Land this past year. It's not going to stop anytime soon. That's why I'm a proud partner of the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. They've been building bridges between Christians and Jews for over 40 years. Thank you for your support during this critical time. Your gift helps the fellowship provide food, necessities, and security to those most in need. Standing with Israel and the Jewish people has never meant so much. Go to supportifcj.org to learn more and make a gift. That's supportifcj.org or call 888-488-IFCJ. Only a few more shows before the election. We're going to be making it all happen, my friends. Make sure you join me. And please, if you're listening on audio, meaning if you're listening to this as a podcast, check out the YouTube channel so I can have more than like 200 followers on YouTube. Wouldn't that be nice? We got a huge radio audience, a huge podcast audience, but the YouTube channel is needs some help there. And it's fun to watch it on video. You can still just have the audio in the background. So go subscribe to the Buck Sexton Show on YouTube and Shield Time.